I just read you why Trump's indicted, in part, because Hillary's corrupt, Obama's corrupt, and Biden's corrupt. One of the ways to understand what's happening is what isn't happening as a result of this targeting of Trump. So when you have the Justice Department investigating an entire political party in the disputes about the election, doing this massive January 6th jihad against those who were present at the January 6th disturbance on January 6th, and when you have this attack on the president, this arresting of President Trump, that means the Justice Department, in terms of a public corruption investigation of Joe Biden, can be sure is doing nothing. And time again, I mean, we can just see, you've had this investigation of Hunter Biden going on for 5+ years at least with no resolution. And with President Trump, from raid to indictment, when was the raid? August? And the indictment now is in June. So that's 5 and 6, so it's less than a year. They arrested him. And Hunter, they're still agonizing over what to do. And it's all a cover-up. And so that's what's happening here. The Justice Department is being targeted on Trump, and in many ways, it not only purposefully, but practically it means that Biden gets away and his family gets away with corruption as a result. And I mean, we've gotten new information over the last few weeks that Biden coerced a bribe from Burisma. We got new information over the last few weeks showing banking records, detailing banking records that show money flowing in from China to the Biden family in a way that was obviously money laundering. And what happens? Trump gets arrested. And I don't think that's any coincidence. And now there are tapes. Now there are tapes that the FBI has been hiding. Now we talked about this FBI form that described the Burisma bribes totaling anywhere from $5 to $10 million, right? 5 for Joe and 5 for Hunter. And in this form, evidently, they deleted material that when they showed it to the House that described tapes of recordations made between the person making the bribe and Joe and Hunter Biden. Now Grassley, the senator from Iowa, Chuck Grassley, he saw the full document, but the House was not shown the full document. And Grassley just blew the whistle this week. And I want to read to you the statement he made about this. It's well worth talking about because you're not going to hear about it in most other media. Last week, I came to the Senate floor to give a speech about the Biden Justice Department and the FBI playing games with the American people by hiding the FBI-generated 1023 document from Congress. Director Wray was going to be held in contempt for refusing to produce the 1023 that I told Chairman Comer about. Then, instead of contempt, the FBI committed to showing the 1023 and related documents to Congress. So the FBI showed but did not provide possession of that 1023 to the House Oversight Committee last week. As the public knows, that 1023 involves an alleged bribery scheme between then Vice President Biden, Hunter Biden, and a foreign national. The same allegations that Chairman Comer and I made public on May 3rd of this year. And on the same day that the FBI provided a redacted version of the 1023 to the House Oversight Committee, the Justice Department announced that former President Trump had been indicted and charged with 37 crimes relating to the alleged mishandling of classified records. Attorney General Garland signed off on prosecuting Trump for conduct similar to what Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton engaged in. Two standards of justice in this country will turn our constitutional republic upside down. Thanks to the political infection within the Biden Justice Department and FBI, we're well along the road for that to happen. This senator will do all that he can to fight that political infection, and you fight it by bringing transparency to what the government does. The public's business ought to be public. Imagine that. Transparency brings accountability. Now, Judicial Watch did not pay Grassley to put out that Judicial Watch approach, but you can see why we often respect Chuck Grassley's work in this area. He knows how important transparency is to government accountability and combating corruption. With respect to the 1023 shown to that House committee, from what I've been told by folks who reviewed it, it's filled with redactions. So Director Wray placed redactions on a document that's already unclassified. More than that, the FBI made Congress review a redacted, unclassified document in a classified facility. That goes to show you the disrespect the FBI has for Congress. On a previous time on the Senate floor, I asked my fellow senators what's so unusual about an unclassified document being given to the public. When on May 18th of this year, there was leaked in the New York Times a classified document and even the name of a confidential human source. So we're kind of in a strange situation here. A classified document can be leaked in the New York Times, but an unclassified document can't be made public to 300 million Americans. Accordingly, Congress still lacks a full and complete picture with respect to what the document really says. That's why it's important that the document be made public without unnecessary redactions for the American people to see. Let me assist for purposes of transparency. The senator goes on. The 1023 produced to that House committee redacted referenced that the foreign nationals who allegedly bribed Joe and Hunter Biden allegedly had audio recordings of his conversations with them. 17 total recordings. According to the 1023, the foreign national possesses 15 audio recordings of phone calls between him and Hunter Biden. According to the 1023, this is the FBI form again, the foreign national possesses two audio recordings of phone calls between him and then Vice President Biden. These recordings were allegedly kept as sort of an insurance policy for the foreign national in case he got into a tight spot. The 1023 also indicates that the then Vice President Biden may have been involved in Burisma employing Hunter Biden. So I've repeatedly asked some, you think reading is easy. It's sometimes difficult. So as I've repeatedly asked since going public with the assistance of the 1023, what, if anything, has the Justice Department and the FBI done to investigate? The Justice Department and the FBI must show their work. They no longer deserve the benefit of the doubt. It's clear that the Justice Department and the FBI will use every resource to investigate candidate Trump, President Trump, and former President Trump. Based on the facts known to Congress and the public, it's clear that the Justice Department and the FBI will use every resource to investigate candidate Trump, President Trump, and former President Trump. I guess they repeated this in the sentence here. Based on the facts known to Congress and the public, it's clear the Justice Department and the FBI haven't nearly had the same laser focus on the Biden family. Special Counsel Jack Smith has used a recording against former President Trump. Well, what's U.S. Attorney Weiss doing with respect to these alleged Joe and Hunter Biden recordings that are relevant to a high-stakes bribery scheme? And U.S. Attorney Weiss is the Delaware U.S. Attorney appointed by Trump that the Garland Justice Department is pretending is investigating the Biden corruption. Getting a full and complete 1023 is critical to the American people to know and understand the true nature of the document and to hold the Justice Department and the FBI accountable. It's also important for asserting constitutional congressional oversight powers against an out-of-control executive branch drunk with political infection. I like that. Political infection. Remember, Congress has received 1023s in the past, and they've been made public. So asking for this 1023 to be turned over to the American people to read is not unusual. Congress owes it to the American people and the brave and historic whistleblowers who, frankly, told them about this. to continue to fight for transparency on this matter and make this document public without unnecessary redactions. I want everyone to remember that I have read the unredacted version, so he knows what's in it. So good for Senator Grassley for highlighting this issue. You can be sure that Judicial Watch will sue for the document as soon as we're able to under the law. There's a process we have to go through before we're able to sue with the federal government, so we're looking at that now as we speak. But that shows you what's at issue here. They've got a document, an FBI document they've been sitting on since at least July of 2020, showing that Joe Biden's involved potentially in a bribery scheme involving a bank that involves coercion, and there are tapes showing something happened. And the FBI obviously has done nothing with it. Wait, they have done something with it. They've tried to cover it up and bury it to make sure that it didn't get out before the campaign, so election interference, and subsequently they were trying to bury it so it wasn't going to ruin President Biden's re-election effort. And in doing so, they misled Congress, obstructed Congress, and for the life of me, I don't know why Chairman Comer hasn't proceeded with contempt against Wray. I've heard a few things that they didn't have the votes to do it, or maybe they were getting some other good stuff and they didn't need to do the contempt. But I don't know, it just looked to me like a big stand down. What do I know? You know, I just try to call it as I see it from where I sit here at Judicial Watch. We've been doing this for a long time, so color me skeptical when Congress says they're going to find someone in contempt. They still don't get the document. They're shown a document, not given a document with redactions, and then all of a sudden there's no contempt. I mean, forgive me for being skeptical. But that's why Trump's indicted. I just read you why Trump's indicted, in part because Hillary's corrupt, Obama's corrupt, and Biden's corrupt. And what better way to distract from that fundamental corruption they were involved in, spying on a sitting president in a seditious coup-like manner, trying to undermine President Trump and jail him, and then continuing to pursue him now with this outrageous arrest. It's because they're all corrupt, and to kind of have the Justice Department settle down and behave normally means they would be targeted and prosecuted. These are dark times for our republic, fellow patriots. And this is why we should be supporting, I criticize Comer a little bit, but he's been doing great work, comparatively speaking. George's been doing great work. Grassley's been doing great work. They need more support from Congress, so you should call Congress to give them more support and more cover to do more of this work. Demand stronger responses from Congress. I mean, look, they arrested Trump. Did you note any big outrage from Congress? Kevin McCarthy did some, he was out there taking a strong stance. I didn't see much in the way of help. Certainly not for Mitch McConnell. Not too many senators were out there. I mean, you need to show the leadership, dear listener, dear viewer, for your members of Congress and your senators and your friends and family. If you're concerned about this, you need to take leadership in any way you can. I don't mean you found a group and start doing this work. Oh, no, maybe you can do that. Your local county committee against government corruption, that's what the left does. I mean, those are the sorts of things you should be thinking about. What is it you can do under our constitutional system to protect our constitutional system? And do everything you think that you can do. Be creative. Support. I keep on saying support Judicial Watch. That goes without saying. But there are other things you can do at the local, state, and federal level, because we've got this precious right to still petition our government and participate in our system through First Amendment protected speech. And I understand sometimes you're punished for doing so, but you can't let that stop you. You just got to keep on keeping on. And you can be sure that Judicial Watch will continue to stand strong for the rule of law, educate the American people about what's really going on here in Washington. We're not going to be intimidated by stories in the media. We're not going to be intimidated by leftists on social media. We're not going to be intimidated by the Justice Department. We're not going to be intimidated by the FBI. We're not going to be intimidated by the Biden White House. We're not going to be intimidated by left-wing members of Congress who want to abuse their authority to target Judicial Watch. We're not going to be intimidated by big tech social media that wants to censor us, because we know we have your support. It's easy to stand strong when you have millions of people behind you demanding that you do something. And I know you want us to do something, and we're doing everything we can under the law to save our country. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like our video down below.